Imagine you are walking into a high-stakes corporate meeting. The budget is spiraling, the deadlines are tight, and you need to warn your boss that the current strategy is doomed.
Oh, that sounds like an absolute nightmare. I get anxious just thinking about it.
You open your mouth, clear your throat, and announce, "Sir, we're on a collision course."
Oh, no. Oh, that is really bad.
Indeed. You meant to say collision course. But with one tiny vowel shift, you just went from being a sharp corporate strategist to a medieval witch.
Hey, and you're basically casting a spell on the accounting department. But that happens, all the time. Your brain knows exactly what it wants to say, but the physical mechanics of the English language just, well, they trip you up.
Exactly. Welcome to this deep dive into the Academia BSB English Conversations course.
Yes, welcome. It is Wednesday, June 24th, and we are so glad you are here with us.
We are going to make sure you never accidentally cast a spell in the boardroom. Today, we are unpacking the material from VIP student THAIZA Duarte's Business English class.
Right, and we'll be focusing heavily on the past, simple, irregular verbs, and personal history.
If you're listening to this, you already know our methodology at Academia BSB.
Yes, we use the academic sheet, and we systematically review every single section of the class notes.
But we do not just read them. We break them down to their absolute core so you understand the why and the how behind the rule.
Exactly, so you really, grasp the mechanics.
Think of it this way. Learning business English is a lot like clearing out a massive backlog of corporate emails.
Ugh, I hate Monday mornings. That mountain of data is just overwhelming.
It looks impossible at first, but if you take it one single train of thought at a time, categorizing and responding objectively, you eventually reach that ultimate goal, the inbox zero of fluency.
I love that analogy, but I might push back just a tiny bit on that, if that is okay.
Proceed.
Well, inbox zero implies that you are eventually done, but fluency isn't really an empty inbox. It is more like, learning to surf. The emails and the stressful meetings, they are always going to keep coming.
I will concede that point. You are building balance, not just emptying a folder.
Right. You don't stop the waves, you just get much, much better at riding them without falling off your board.
And before we can ride those waves in a live corporate environment, we need to ensure our acoustic delivery is flawless. We move to section 2.2, pronunciation for the current class.
This is where we get into the physical engineering of speech. We need to know how the board feels under our feet, right?
We will read each target word slowly, say a simple sentence containing the word, and repeat the word. I need you, the listener, to pay attention to what your jaw and tongue are doing right now.
Oh, okay, I can do that. Let's start with the witch in the boardroom. The first word is curse.
Pronounce it very deliberately.
Right. Curse. A witch can cast a curse. Curse. I always mess this up when I'm nervous because it requires a tight, closed mouth.
Your lips are barely open and the sound happens right in the middle of your mouth. But contrast that with the word you usually want to say in the office. Course.
Yes. Course. I am taking an English course. Course.
Notice how your jaw literally has to drop. It is an elongated, open OR sound.
So if your jaw isn't dropping, you are casting a curse.
It is a purely mechanical fix. Drop the jaw. Let us move to the next vital distinction. Sick. Sick. I did not feel well, so I called in sick. Sick. And we must contrast that with seek. We must seek a better strategy. Seek.
This is another classic phonetic trap. Portuguese speakers don't naturally have that lazy short I sound found in sick.
So to compensate, they often stretch it out. To fix this, think of your facial expression.
Yes. For seek, you want a wide, tense smile. Try it. Seek. Your lips pull back. But for sick, your jaw needs to drop slightly, and your lips must completely relax.
Sick. Precision is power. Next word, Wednesdays.
Wednesdays. We always have our team meetings on Wednesdays. Wednesdays, the trick here is a silent D. You completely ignore it and just slide right past it. Wednesdays.
Next, a word that requires attention to its stress pattern.
Hamburger.
Hamburger. I ate a large hamburger for lunch. Hamburger. Put the heavy emphasis right at the front. Hamburger. Now, a word where the spelling actively lies to you. Sign.
Sign. Please sign the contract on the dotted line. Sign. You see a G in the spelling, but you must pretend it does not exist.
It is completely silent. The same rule applies to our next word, lasagna.
Lasagna. My favorite Italian dish is lasagna.
Lasagna. And again here, design.
Design. The graphic team created a beautiful new design. The silent G is just like a ghost in the English language.
It is there in the history of the word, but it makes no sound today. Next word.
Sofa.
Sofa. I sat down to rest on the comfortable sofa.
Sofa. And the final target word, heart.
Heart. The heart pumps blood through the body. Heart. This one is tricky because the letters E-A-R usually sound like ear, the thing on your head.
But in heart, it sounds exactly like art. It opens up completely.
Exactly. Heart.
So knowing how to physically produce these sounds in a vacuum is an excellent start. But how do we actually use these phrases in a stressful office environment?
This is where we move into language usage. Because when your cortisol levels spike in a meeting, your brain just, well, it shuts down. You need conversational anchors to buy yourself time. To illustrate this, we're going to run a highly realistic role play. THAIZA, our VIP student, manages 3 bosses.
T3 bosses. Oh my gosh. That is a crucible of administrative stress. I would literally hide under my desk.
We will simulate a scenario where a secretary is overwhelmed, loses her sequence of ideas, and has to use clarification phrases to survive the interaction. I will be your demanding manager.
Okay. I will play the secretary, and I'll use our target phrases to deliberately slow the conversation down.
Let us begin the simulation. We need the quarterly reports by noon, and I also need you to book my flights, review the marketing budget, and call the international clients. Are you following my instructions?
Oh, I apologize, sir. There is a lot of data here, and I totally lost my train of thought.
The train of thought is your sequence of ideas. Please, pay attention.
I am paying attention, sir, I assure you. My eyes are just a little dry from staring at the spreadsheets.
Do you need to go to the pharmacy?
No, I don't need eye drops. Let's refocus. But, sir, do you feel sad today? You seem unusually stressed.
I do not feel sad. I am merely focused on the data. Now, regarding the supply chain protocols...
I apologize for interrupting, but how do you say supply chain in Portuguese?
We do not use Portuguese in this office, but it means your logistics network.
I see. I didn't understand the initial context. Can you clarify on that?
Simulation concluded. Excellent execution.
Phew. That was, really intense. But notice how those clarification phrases like, I didn't understand, they act as a shield.
They force the aggressive speaker to pause, rephrase, and give you the mental space to comprehend.
And train of thought is such a beautiful idiom, too. Imagine your ideas are train cars hooked together. When you get stressed, the cars derail, and you lose the sequence.
Before we move off language usage, I must strictly clarify the exact mechanics of 3 specific prepositions for the workplace.
Oh, yes. Prepositions are notoriously frustrating because they rarely make sense if you translate them directly.
You must learn the spatial logic of English. First, you are married to someone. You are not married with someone.
Right. Think of to as a directional arrow of commitment. If you say you are married with someone, it almost sounds like you and your spouse are teaming up to marry a third person.
A highly inefficient corporate structure for a marriage. Second, the difference between talk to and talk with. Talk to implies a one-way delivery of a message.
Like a boss talking to an employee. But talk with implies a collaborative two-way conversation, like we are talking with our listener today.
A brilliant distinction for office politics. Finally, a woman is pregnant with a child. She is not pregnant from a child. Pregnant with.
Yes, pregnant from sounds like causality, like the baby caused the pregnancy, which is biologically backward.
It is entirely logical once you learn the architectural rules. Speaking of the workplace, let us take a brief intermission for some corporate trivia.
Oh, I love this part. So think about THAIZA managing 3 bosses using digital calendars and instant messaging. But if we rewind just a few decades, secretary-bound activities required massive, heavy physical paper ledgers.
The sheer volume of manual labor was staggering. Organizing a single multi-person meeting could require hours of sequential phone calls.
And erasing and rewriting entries in leather-bound books. It was a logistical nightmare.
Much like how language learning used to be.
Exactly. It used to require lugging around massive translation dictionaries. Today, you have an entire English course accessible with a digital click.
The barrier to entry has vanished, but the structural requirements remain. Which brings us to Section 5, grammar.
Yes, the structural foundation of the language. Just like a corporate office relies on a strict hierarchy, English relies on grammar to prevent chaos.
We will thoroughly explain the PDF grammar content, the verb to be, meaning was and were, and the simple past structure.
And this is where we remind you to use the school's mnemonic systems. We refer to them specifically as mental pen drives.
Yes, mental flash drives to help grasp and remember the content. Let us plug one in right now, the igloo rule for irregular verbs.
I love the igloo rule. Imagine you're building an igloo. To build a strong structure, you need standardized blocks of ice.
If the blocks are random shapes, the igloo collapses. English irregular verbs seem random, but the Igley rule breaks down the hidden phonetic patterns into 4 groups.
Right, so they stack neatly in your mind. Group 1 replaces the I with an A. Drink becomes drank. Swim becomes swam.
Group 2 relies on the U sound for the past tense. Fly becomes flew. Grow becomes grew. Blow becomes blew. Fall becomes fell.
Notice how they all share that tight, pursed lip ending. Group 3 utilizes the strong O sound. Freeze becomes froze. Forget becomes forgot. Drive becomes drove.
And finally, Group 4, which looks terrifying on paper but rhymes beautifully when spoken.
Yes. Teach becomes taught. Catch becomes caught. Bring becomes brought. They all share that deep, open, ought sound.
By breaking down the groups, you remove the chaos. Now, we must apply these past structures to interrogative sentences. To form a question in the simple past, we use the auxiliary verb did.
Did is one of the most powerful tools in English, but it confuses a lot of learners. I like to think of did as a temporal vampire.
A temporal vampire. Please elaborate on that mechanism.
Well, when you ask a question in the past tense, the word did jumps to the front of the sentence and just sucks all the past tense energy out of the main verb.
Because did is already showing that this happened in the past, your main verb gets to stay in its base present tense form. I will use the exact examples from the text to demonstrate this.
Oh, hey, I'm ready.
Did you take a shower yesterday?
Yes, I took a shower. Notice that in the answer, did is gone, so take has to turn into took. But in the question, it's just, did you take?
Precisely. Did you drive a car?
Yes.
I drove a car.
Did you punch your ex-husband in the face?
No, I didn't punch my ex-husband in the face. And notice there, in the negative, didn't acts as the vampire, so punch stays as punch.
These structures are vital for everyday academic and work situations. Let us see these grammar rules acting in the real world in Section 6, Reading.
Oh, I'm so excited for this. Narrative storytelling is how humans connect. I'm going to enthusiastically read the biography of Frida Kahlo directly from the notes.
Proceed.
Frida Kahlo was a famous artist. She was born on July 6, 1907 in Mexico City. When Frida was 18, she was in a terrible bus accident. Frida was hurt very badly. She broke many of her bones, including her ribs and spine. She had to stay in bed for many months to heal. The emotional resonance of that text relies entirely on the verbs. Was, broke, had. Now, I will take that same factual story and create a new, short text with a similar style, but using completely different past tense verbs.
To show how to manipulate language flexibly. Let's hear it.
He arrived on August 12, 1990, in New York. While he drove to work at age 30, he crashed his car. The impact shattered his window and scratched his arm. He rested on the sofa for 3 weeks to recover.
Wow. The cadence is identical to the Frida Kahlo story, but the vocabulary is entirely new. Arrived, drove, crashed, shattered, rested.
From reading about a famous artist's past, we move to Section 7, Writing, to document our own history.
Right. The student essay prompt is, who were you when you were a teenager?
Let us review THAIZA's input.
She wrote, I was a beautiful teenager. I had a long hair. I played on the street with my friends. And she mentioned her mom was 21 when she gave birth, and her dad was 18 when they met.
The purpose of this exercise is to build your narrative confidence. I propose a brand new answer for you, the listener, to use incorporating today's vocabulary.
Oh, like a template.
Exactly. When I was a teenager, I grew quickly. I swam in the local pool on Wednesdays, and I proudly drove my father's car.
You used grew, swam, and drove. That is perfect. Now, remind the listener about the golden rule for our writing exercises.
Your answers do not necessarily need to be real info from your lives. However, they must be grammatically correct, semantically complete, and scientifically accurate.
If you follow that rule, your English will be bulletproof. Now, before we wrap up, it is time to break the format for something very exciting.
Ah, yes, the gamification metric.
Yes, gamification points. This is how we reward our students. Let me check the system. Stars won today. You have earned 42 stars. Congratulations.
42 stars is a highly respectable yield.
It absolutely is. And these points allow you to participate in monthly giveaways. You can win books, pencil cases, mugs, t-shirts, and even pay for courses.
While the rewards are pleasant, the true reward is your evolving skill set. Let us discuss what the listener can do to keep evolving from level A1 to level A2 before the next class.
Okay, here's a short, actionable tip. Consistency beats intensity. Don't try to memorize 50 verbs on Sunday night. Just spend 5 minutes every morning practicing your irregular verb lists.
Daily repetition hardwires those mental pen drives into your long-term memory. Your homework is to improve your essay. You must complete the second draft.
A. And please expand on the bibliographic references. There's a great quiz in there about Frida Kahlo as a symbol of women's empowerment that you simply must review before the next lesson.
To tease the upcoming linguistic scope, our next class will dissect the difference between there is and there are, and there was and there were.
That is going to be incredibly useful for office communication.
As we conclude, I want to leave you with a final provocative thought to mull over based on today's discussion.
Oh, okay, I'm listening.
THAIZA noted that being beautiful modifies people's perception of you. I ask you this: how does having a beautiful command of the English language permanently change the opportunities available to you in the corporate world? Does it not modify how the world perceives your intelligence and absolute value?
Wow. A beautiful command of the language isn't just about avoiding mistakes, it is about projecting competence. It permanently changes how people hear your ideas, which brings us perfectly to the school's motto. I'll state it in English. It is not only about the language, it is all about communication.
And to paraphrase that enthusiastically, it is not just about the words we speak. It is completely about human connection. Keep building those mental frameworks, and we will see you in the next session.